The following is a conversation. It has the features of any conversation, such as imperfectly expressed thoughts, ill-considered opinions, and the notions of several sleep-deprived brains. Try not to get your stethoscope in a twist about it.
So if you're watching us on video on YouTube or on Spotify, you may notice that we're not in this location that we usually are in. We're having a little studio remodel, but we should be back in that studio in a week. I'm very excited because those countertops are getting removed.
Where are we going to put our tree?
On the ground, like normal people do, with their medical themed trees. Actually, so what's really funny is I was talking to Audra earlier this week. I put the tree in 1216 in OSAC as a temporary storage spot. Apparently Chris Cooper hates it.
I saw that.
He would.
I was so concerned.
He would hate it.
I need to go and take a look at that tree.
I want you to make a second one and leave it in OSAC just for
he says
Dean Cooper.
He says Audra's going to get in trouble for me. If I can paraphrase what Audra said, he said he liked the branch just fine. It was the stuff on the tree he didn't like.
Yeah.
If it helps, I doubt he listens to the podcast, but he might.
Well,
what's
a dean going to do with his downtime?
It's got it was up in the thing. You may not have looked at it directly, but it was up in the studio. It has surgical gloves. It has
test scores that people hung up on there.
Yeah, there's a couple of vials of paint, which could be either science liquid or, by science liquid, I mean the blue liquid that you always see in tampon commercials or in stock footage of scientists doing science things. They're always looking at a blue vial of clear blue liquid.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I definitely have to go and take a look at that tree now.
There's other stuff on it, like a
hodgepodge of miscellaneous medical items.
Yeah.
I just love that you're like, by science liquid, tampons. Okay, Dave.
What's science? Well, it's when they test how much blue liquid.
It's to, it is a substitute for menstrual blood, but it's also to make things look sciencey in commercials, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure I know exactly what he didn't like about it. He was just like, it needs to be out of here by the time I get back from. It needs to be out of here before.
You should take a picture of it and just frame a picture of it and give it to him.
Yeah. That's a great idea. That is a great idea.
He's not my boss. It doesn't bother me at all.
Meandering in the margins of medicine, it's the Shortcoat Podcast.
Weird news,
fresh views,
helpful clues, and interviews.
By students, for students.
Subscribe to our weekly show at theshortcoat.com.
Welcome back to the Shortcoat Podcast. It's a show. It's a production of the University of Iowa Carver College of Medicine. I'm Dave Vettler. With me today are some students drinking from the fire hose. We've got... Oh, geez. I didn't write anything down today.
Yeah, I'm noticing.
We've got Elvire Nguepnang.
Hello.
We've got Gizzy Lundquist. We've got Jeff Goddard.
Yes, that is me. Yeah.
And we will soon be joined by Katherine Yu. She's doing some sort of medical experience.
Oh.
Medical
experiments?
school thing.
As we do in medical school.
As sometimes happens in medical school. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did not write things down today because I didn't wanna.
Yeah.
I'm taking charge of my life. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
So Dave's New Year's resolution was to be less prepared.
Yes.
In 2025.
I was too prepared in life. All my life I've been prepared for everything. And for New Year's resolution, I was like, no, I'm going to be less prepared. I'm going to go in cold. I'm going to screw it up and be proud.
Protect your peace, Queen.
Thank you.
I will say, just as a callback to previous episodes, because we like these continuity opportunities.
Yeah.
How prepared do you feel for things like your finances and retirement?
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, okay. All right. So mostly over prepared.
No. Look, I'm not in charge of that. I have a financial planner.
I also
whose name
appreciated
Christine
getting married.
Adler. And I didn't even know we had a financial planner this time last year.
She show you the
Thank
spreadsheet?
God for wives.
I know she has one.
Yeah. And if I bring up that I'm concerned about such things, her response rightly is, shut up.
It's like, I've got it.
I've got this. And she gets a little annoyed at me because she feels like I'm not appreciating her efforts. So I'm pretty sure that she's doing it just fine.
So,
and would I know if she wasn't? No, she could be robbing me blind.
In a sense, what you're saying is you were over-prepared just by thinking about it. What you needed to be doing is backing off and let somebody else take care of it. That's the proper level of prepared.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that, Dave.
Okay. I appreciate that perspective.
Yeah. I'm on your side here.
Yeah. So, this moment in the cycle of medical school seems to be a transition time, literally a transition week for you, Gizzy.
Yep.
You did what we call transition to clinical clerkships week this week.
It's worth 1 college credit.
Are you ready? Have you transitioned?
Yeah. Well, I'm the type of person that like, the more time you give me to stew I will, you know? So like they just kind of need to throw me in it. The more time they give me to like think about it, the more I'm going to think about it and the more anxious I'm going to get. So I kind of just need to be put in there. I appreciate it. Like I'd rather be over prepared than under prepared. So that's good.
Speaking of prepared, what did you take away from what they told you this week?
I think the gist is like, just become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And have a goal for yourself every day and just learn as much as you can.
Yeah. And so share your goals. I've heard, like I've read comments from residents and attending saying, I really appreciated how they came to me and said, this specialty isn't necessarily for me, but I do have some things that I want to learn about. And they really like that because it helps them figure out what to do with you, right?
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah, that was definitely my experience on most of my rotations. Either I had goals prepared or sometimes the physician would like take me to the side on the first day of the rotation and tell me, so these are the things that I think are important for you to learn on this rotation. And then I will just go ahead and do that.
What's your first?
OB-GYN.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that exciting?
It is.
No,
it makes me nervous,
I don't believe
but it's okay.
Your face.
I have to deliver a placenta.
What are they have procedures and things that they want you to see.
Required things that you have to like check off, which I'm getting familiar with, and they'll tell you the degree, like you just need to watch this, or you need to help with it, or you need to fully do it. So
you have to deliver a placenta. What other things do they want you to see?
Assist with like all 3 types of birth, so like vaginal, C-section, and like an assisted one. What else? I think a breast exam.
Yeah. Sure.
So we'll see.
Bread and butter stuff, basically.
There's a pap smear in there.
Oh yeah, probably.
And you'll learn, as somebody who is now on this side of the clerkships, they're kind of really lenient about how involved you need to be with all of those clinical experiences. They want you in the room. They want you to see it. They want you to understand what's going on. But they're pretty lenient about being able to check those off once you get to the end of the clerkship. I'm like, well, yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is kind of what I figured. I mean, because sometimes there's only so much you can do.
But you will deliver the placenta. And that's the fun part.
I know.
That's the fun part. Just wear shoes that you don't love.
Yeah, I've heard.
On your L&D week.
I know. I've already been going through the catalog of like 5 shoes I own.
Rain boots.
Trying to figure out which ones.
I knew an intern that wore rain boots, and I thought she was silly. And then
Until
I saw.
It wasn't.
And then I saw.
Yeah.
Katherine, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
No, I'm so excited to have you. Well, Gizzy has just finished transitions week and she's about to begin her clerkship. We've got these two who continuing your clinical clerkships, but you're also moving to advanced clerkships.
Correct.
Now. So
what does your spring look like?
I will be studying for step 1 and step 2 till about April. And then I will take my sub-I ICU rotation and 1 advanced rotation.
So sub-I is a sub-internship. Basically,
Correct.
You're acting as a sort of baby resident.
Yes.
Right?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's usually in the specialty that you are hoping to do.
Yeah.
And so it should be interesting to you.
Yeah. I'm interested in psychiatry. So it's going to be a sub-I for mood and psychotic disorders. So that's going to be a blast, or at least I hope so.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about that Sabai, so here's hoping.
What have you heard?
The people that I know that have done it have really enjoyed it. They like the autonomy and they like the learning experiences.
Okay,
that they
that's
get with
good
it.
to know.
So,
that's good to know.
Yeah.
What about you?
So
You got step one coming
about
up probably
6
too,
months
right?
ago, I delivered a placenta. Not really. My wife had a child.
Oh, right.
And I took paternity leave. So I have to make up a surgery rotation that I have not done yet, starting on Monday. I'm dreading that. I had hoped to have step one done over Christmas break, but I also have an 8-year-old. And I would wake up at 4:35 every morning to start studying. And he'd already be awake watching, I don't know, some kid's movie. And saying things like, Dad, I really wish you didn't have to study, and then cuddling me. And I'm like, it melted me. So I did not get the studying done that I needed to get done.
Children are the worst.
He really is the absolute best thing in my life. So I didn't get step one done. So I'll have to make that up after surgery. And I have an away rotation, a 2-month rotation with the CDC starting in the end of March, beginning of April. So I really don't know when I'm going to take step two. Probably before I apply to residency in the fall.
Right.
But I don't know when.
I think that's the idea. I don't think.
Yeah, I think they're hopeful.
They're usually like not that much into people who haven't taken at least step one.
Yeah, you have to take step one before you're allowed to do any of the advanced rotations. So that will happen in March, guaranteed. But I don't know when step two will happen. It'll happen, but we'll see. I'm really excited to go play with the CDC in Atlanta, though. That could be fun. I don't know if you've heard, but things are brewing in national politics around health and science communication, which is a concern for somebody who is trying to go work for the CDC and wondering how much money there's going to be in Atlanta.
I was going to say what you were thinking about that.
They're going to have lights on? I don't know. We'll find out. It'll be fun. I'm being dramatic. I just think but it should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be at least a strange few months.
I think the thing that makes me excited about it is that I'm working in a department. So I'm working in the pox and rabies department. And the pox family of viruses are not terribly common in the United States, nor is rabies terribly common in the United States. So most of what the CDC does in those is epidemiology, tracking these conditions in other countries and trying to help other countries manage them with science communication or vaccines or whatever. And so it'd be very interesting considering a certain shift away from globalism and more kind of isolationism with our spending, what that's going to look like for medicine.
But
and I'm kind of interested in that.
Pox and rabies aren't exactly a political football. So
yeah,
it's just that the CDC
surely
itself
not.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be an exciting year. It really is. So looking forward to it. Katherine.
Yes.
You have finished your first semester.
Yes.
As
made
an
it through.
M1 a couple weeks back. About to jump right into semester 2. Can you give us a sort of brief look at how your first semester went?
It was good. Honestly, like the workload was pretty heavy, which is something I was expecting, but it was definitely manageable. And it was just a really great time, like feeling like I was finally learning more about medicine, like consolidating my knowledge and getting at a point where it might become clinically applicable.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting.
Well, speaking of clinically applicable, were there anything, I want to know if for you guys, if there was, you and Elvire and Jeff, were there things that you were like, oh, that's why we learned this? Whereas in your preclinical years, you were like, why the hell are we learning this?
There was quite a bit in cardiology and pulmonology that came back around on clinicals, especially in internal medicine, that I felt like, oh, okay, I can see why, it's useful to kind of understand these things, or like acid-base issues where you're like, I'm vaguely aware that they're important, but like how much, even on the wards, I'm doing this math. Like I'm calculating things on the back of an envelope here before I go see my patient. And I didn't expect that, but I appreciated it a lot more. So acid-base for sure.
That's good to know, because when I was learning that, I literally, quite literally asked my friends, like, do the doctors stop and do this math?
Sometimes,
like on their notebooks, like, or is this a thing that auto-populates in Epic, So good to hear that you actually used it.
I mean, it's not like, some of them are just going to be like so straightforward that you're like, okay, I know exactly what's going on. But sometimes you're like, okay, is there compensation going on? And like, so you do kind of look at the math sometimes. Or like calculating a delta gap, which you don't need to really know what that is at this point, but at some point you might calculate it and it is helpful, right? That's probably the big one that's like, oh, okay, that one came back.
Delta gap. I bet that's an EKG thing.
Nope. Not even a little bit. And stay acid base. Delta.
Elvire's looking at me like, you poor stupid fool.
The quick summary is Delta means change. So you're just checking the two changes on two different things and you're comparing them. And that's it. And you don't need to know anything past that. That's fine.
Well, serves me right for trying to guess shit that I know nothing about.
I have difficulty managing my facial expressions.
No, I want you
one
to...
of my friends has told me. But one thing that I've learned, or actually not learned, but going back to your question about clinical application and what we learned during the preclinical years and how it's kind of re-manifested in the clinical space. One particular topic that I found myself struggling with is diabetes management and managing insulin. And I definitely think that Dr. Shipley-Hall's lecture on like how to manage a patient's sugar really helped me to have a better understanding of how to do that. But the residents also did a really great job of helping me with those calculations as well, because I still found myself not getting the exact numbers, but yeah.
Sodium glucose compensation was another calculation that I've had to do on the wards. That one was very helpful for patients that have like, a glucose of like 600. Like, is their sodium really off, or does it just seem off because of how the test? And that's the math that you get to do on the ward, so that was fun. I will say there is something that I did not take from didactics that I was like really glad that I didn't have to do in didactics or in the clinicals, which was pathology. There is one specialty in the hospital that sees slides every day. Some of the other ones might sometimes look at them. I don't think that I had access to any path slides the entire time that I was in clinicals. I don't know where I could have clicked to have seen the images of these smears. I just got the results from them, which was fine by me. But now that I'm studying for step 1, I'm like, I don't remember what any of these nephrons look like. My bad. I'm sorry.
I feel like I remember seeing those slides in Epic. I just don't remember exactly where. I think it was a lot more easily accessible for me.
Oh, well, I mean, I might have been there, but none of my residents or attendings cared to show me because it wasn't relevant to what we were doing, I guess.
Well, and you were in Des Moines too, so maybe things are a little different there.
That's also fair. It's not as much an academic institution as it is just like a hospital where people get treated and that we move on, right?
Yeah.
That said, like I can see the value. Like I want somebody looking at these slides. I'm at the point where I'm recognizing that it doesn't necessarily need to be every single physician, right? There's some things every physician should be able to do. And I don't know that recognizing how Joel bodies is one of them, but it might be. I don't know.
And I also think that, so my rotation was, I think you're talking about your IM rotation. Is that correct? Or is it a different rotation that you're speaking
specifically of? My IM rotation, but I definitely didn't look at slides on my OB rotation either. So
okay, and I think one reason why it might have been easier for me is because mine was in Iowa City, and also I was low-key paranoid, so I was diving into Epic, and
you didn't want to miss anything.
I was all over the place.
I know that's kind of how I am too, from like my previous experience working as a tech. Is I would go into patients' charts and just know everything. I was like, well, they were born in this town on Summer's Eve, 1992. Like, I definitely go in probably deeper than I need to on a lot of things.
One of my favorite things, this will get you some points on your PEDS rotation. So we do SOAP notes, right? Which is you tell the subjective things and the objective findings, and then your assessment and plan. And the subjective things would be like, they're sweaty, right? And the objective things is their heart rate is this because I measured it. It's a number, I calculated it, right? I would often say with the kids, I'm like, objectively, they're really cute. And then I would go into the Christmas spiel.
Oh, yeah.
Doctors love that.
What are you nervous about, Gizzy, as you start your clerkships?
I don't think it's a lot of the medicine things. Like, I don't think it's going to be like talking to patients and like coming up with plans and assessments, because like that's the whole, like I'm there to learn. It's okay if I'm wrong and I mess up. I'm more worried about like, and so where do I stand? Like
in the operating
like kind
room.
of the social things, I guess, which you can't really teach. You just kind of have to pick up, I think. And I know
it's interesting how many things.
But
it's interesting how many things in that situation, like you pick up by vibes, as opposed to like somebody saying, "Yeah, you stand here" or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a lot of the advice we got.
It's like walking into an elevator sometimes.
Read the vibe. Yeah, and then I know about myself that there are some vibes that I am illiterate I cannot read them, and so it'll maybe be awkward, but I'd rather be awkward and learn things than know perfectly where to stand and not get like the learning experience from it.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and it's good that you have that attitude, because I think it's going to be part of your life for the next few weeks until you sort of get acclimated.
Don't get me wrong, it took me a panicked week and a whole lot of talking to come to that conclusion.
Oh yeah, okay.
But
yeah,
we're here. So
to use David's analogy of the elevator, like sometimes you might like just walk into the elevator and then stand there facing the back wall and everybody else is looking at you and it's like, maybe I did this wrong. Worst case, you've given everybody in that room a good story. So if you stand in the wrong spot, everybody's like, there was this med student this one time. She made me laugh.
I can do that.
And they will promptly tell you,
they will
step over there.
Oh, great.
Like, you need to not be here. You're in the splash zone.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Since you're on OB.
Oh, favorite zone. I've got my own goggles ready to go. So, good.
Okay, that's going to be weird.
What? They're purple. I've had, like I said, I've worked in the hospital, so I got an experience getting a fluid you don't want to get in your eyeball, and then I promptly bought purple goggles, and so they're ready to go. And
see, I know that you're talking about like medically appropriate, like eye care, but what I'm picturing is like the goggles. Speedo goggles.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that would be funny too.
Yeah,
Could they really do anything?
Fantastic.
Like, what would they do?
I mean, they keep things out of your eyes.
Yeah.
So you
like,
got
how is that not I might change.
I think you're talking about like the kind that look like big glass.
Yeah,
not like the ones that you wear in the workshop.
No,
and not
the swimmer goggles. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is correct. But they are purple.
All right,
they're pretty cute.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, last night when I was preparing for the show,
I thought you said you didn't prepare.
I didn't. That's the point. I tried. I really did try to prepare for the show, and I was drawing a complete blank as to what we could do in the limited amount of time I had to prepare for it. So I stopped preparing, as I said, except to print out some topics to discuss. I thought we'd go around the room, and they should not be medically related. In fact, I did not think about that when I was doing these topics.
I want to talk about, of my own volition, if you could rename the months of the year, how would you call one of them? What would you call one of them?
What? I don't even know what I meant by that.
If you could rename the months of the year. So I think it's asking, like, if I could just pick a month, and I'm like, oh, there's a better name for this month than the one that it has. What would I give it?
Okay.
Do you want to go first, Dave, since you wrote the question?
No, it's your topic. I think you need to.
Oh, goodness me. So does anybody here speak Portuguese?
No, but a friend.
They do this really cute thing where they don't actually name the names of the days of the week. Mm-hmm. They're numbered.
Really?
So it'd be like, so it's like first feria, second feria. Like that's like how you would say it in Portuguese, right? So you're just like, oh, like it's the third, and they mean Wednesday, right?
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that system. It seems pretty straightforward, except for we're used to having names.
Yeah. Our names are like Norse gods or something, right?
Yeah. Which is cute because the Latin names are just their gods, and we just picked the nearest gods in our German language, which was kind of fun. But we have September, October, November, December are numbered. They're just numbered wrong, right? So September is 7, October, that's 8.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I think I would number the months.
Okay.
I would want them all to be numbered, and I would want them to actually be like, December should probably be the 10th month, not the 12th month, because December, it's frustrating to me.
Yeah. Somebody did that wrong.
Well, the story is that two Caesars decided to stuff their names in there. August for Augustus Caesar, and then Julius for July. And so it was normal, and then they're just like, hey, we want the best months.
Classic emperor. I like that. I mean, it's unimaginative.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, like, look, replacing these perfectly good like fun names with numbers. We'll
might keep January. I like January.
Like when you go into a new town and you're like, why are all these streets numbered?
Yeah, but can you even spell February without giving it like some serious thought? Nobody likes February. Nobody
say
likes how
February.
that month is spelled. Just get rid of it.
Okay.
That's going to be second
It's
month.
only 28 days.
Yeah. And you can pick the language that we call it second in. Like it can be Spanish or segundo. All right, cool. That's fine.
Okay.
You know what? I'm behind this plan because in Chinese they just number everything. So like months, days, everything. I think it just makes life so much easier.
It could eliminate some confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because once you've learned the numbers, you've also learned the months and the days.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you for the backup on that. I needed that.
welcome.
Dave was not sold.
I was like, you idiot. It's not really what I meant, but you know.
All right.
I would like to also say that because February is kind of a dull, dreary month with only 28 days, I think it should be. I think January and March should just be extended, maybe. How about that?
You just want to get rid of the month of February altogether?
Get rid of the month of February.
What about
It's useless.
Valentine's Day?
Let's not do that. My dad was born in Valentine's Day.
Feb
We
14.
can still have Valentine's Day. It's not like I'm getting rid of Valentine's
It's his
Day.
birthday.
I'm just getting rid of February.
So I
Getting rid of the name.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm on board getting rid of the name. I just think I might keep the month.
Yeah.
No, I kind of like it, honestly, because you know those words like February and like library that have like too many R's? But like I know where the R's go, and it kind of makes me feel a little
Like
bit better. You know?
Yeah, you need something to be better than other people on.
And that's it.
That's
I know
fair.
where the R's go in February and library.
We all need something that we're like a little smug about. I think that's fair.
So I think we keep it. Also, like if you made January long, I don't know. February is so like validating because like you just got through a whole month and like check that off your list, but it was 3 days less, so it was kind of easy.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of that. That's you.
But if you make January like 45 days long,
Think of the
you're
achievement you'll
People
feel
already
at the end of
think
that
January is 45 days long. Like we can't do that.
I don't know about that. January is a bit much, I think.
Okay.
I was born in January.
Me too. Wait, what day? What day?
January 6th.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old are you? Can I ask? Is that rude? You can make up an.
I'm 20 years old. I'm kidding.
God, a prodigy.
I'm 31.
31.
Yes.
You don't look a day past 20. I would say 25.
Thank you.
I don't even know how old I am.
That your parents thought you were just like an epiphany, you know?
They did.
Oh, boy.
They did. They tell me
I
all
get
the
it.
time.
Yeah, good.
I get it.
Thank you.
You're supposed to take your Christmas tree down on Epiphany.
Depends on the culture. Sure.
Our Christmas tree is still up.
Good.
I did see on my TikToks a lady wrapping her Christmas tree in saran wrap to put away. I'm going to do that.
What's the
wrap it in saran wrap?
So you don't have
even
to
take
undecorate
down
anything?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
next year.
Like,
Yep.
I'm all about, so I've been like not renovating, but like arranging the different items that I have around my living room. And I'm all about making sure that if anything isn't necessary, it should be hidden. So I don't know if I would want to like wrap my Christmas tree in saran wrap because I would just like see it. And
I would like to be clear that I have a basement that I will move.
He will be hiding it.
Yeah, I will be hiding it. The point is not to wrap it in saran wrap.
And then stick it
Just
in the
because.
corner.
The point is so that I don't have to take everything down.
I know
Okay.
the point is to like wrap it, but I want to make sure to clearly communicate that I just have like a tendency to not like things like poking out in like different like spaces. I like them like hidden.
Okay.
So like even if I had your basement and I was thinking, let me just like wrap this Christmas tree, I'd want to like take it apart. And
Okay.
like even if I had to like wrap it in saran wrap, I just don't want to like see anything anywhere where it's not supposed to be for longer than it's supposed to be there.
Okay.
I just like having a clean aesthetic space, whether it's like the basement, the living room.
Whereas the whole reason why I came to medical school was so that I'd have enough money that I could have a sitting room that I can leave my tree up all year round. I came to medicine for the money, for the tree. That's why I'm here.
For the room.
I need a large room where I can put a tree and just leave it up all year round.
I'm getting irritated.
I'm a little irritated too.
We should probably move on from this one.
Next topic.
All right, so I have, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word adventure? I was thinking about this, and it really reminds me of last summer when we decided to go to Mexico City. We did not have any kind of tour or like any kind of guide, and we just like flew down there.
We being?
Me and my parents.
Okay.
Yeah. And none of us can speak Spanish except for me because I used an app called Mango to like learn Spanish for 2 months. And then we went down to Mexico City. So that was a great experience because also like we didn't use Ubers or taxis or anything. We're using public transport all the way. So it literally took us, I think, 4 hours to get back to our hotel because we kept taking wrong lines. And in the end, like at one point we didn't even know like where in the city we were. So that was a great experience. We figured it out after that first day. And we were able to navigate everything with my Spanish.
Are you an adventurous person in general?
I would say that experience alone makes me an adventurous person.
Okay, so
that's my proof. I like, look at this. Yeah, that's my one.
I love that.
Yeah.
So would you say when you finish that experience, you're like, yeah, I would do that again?
I would love to do that
then
again.
I will call you a very adventurous person. Like if you got to the end of that and you're like, I hated every second of that, I'm like, not adventurous. But you are definitely an adventurous person if you want to do it again.
On the first day, it was kind of tough because like we're on the bus, like we just got off a 5-hour flight. We didn't like eat anything. We had no water. So at that point, we're all kind of cranky and tired. So at that point, I was like, we're never going to make it to the hotel. We're just going to be stuck here going around in circles for the rest of our lives. But after that, it was a really good experience.
My wife and I went to London over in earlier in the fall. And that first day, we were so cranky from the flight and from, being dehydrated and not having slept very well and all this kind of stuff. Something we didn't really prepare for because we wanted to just jump right into things. I think I would do it differently if we did that again.
What would you do differently?
I would be committed to, I would add a day to the trip and I would be committed to just like hotel living for a day.
Like recalibrating your whole body.
Yes.
Need like a jump start after you get off a plane.
Yeah.
That's the conclusion that I came to after I spent some time with my family during the holidays. I realized that I need a holiday from the holiday with my family because I need time to decompress. I love them, but yeah, I just needed some time to just think.
Totally fair. I stayed home. My family and I stayed home and my daughter came to visit. And
the one on the East Coast?
What's that?
The one on the East Coast?
Yeah. And love me a good staycation. I don't think I'm that adventurous personally. I as the mother of an ex-girlfriend told me long ago, you like to be very comfortable, don't you? I'm still trying to figure out whether she...
That was definitely an insult by the tone.
Yeah. But I don't know for sure that I'm delivering
what human doesn't like to be comfortable? That's like...
Well, like, what was the context? Was she
you
like
to eat
I'm
food,
pretty
don't
sure
you?
it's hard for me to remember. This was like 30 years ago, but I'm pretty sure she was. I don't think she liked me all that much. I don't think she liked me all that much. I don't really know why. We just never clicked. But yeah,
I need a son-in-law that likes to be miserable. That's what I want. An interesting lady.
But I do. But on the other hand, as I think ahead to my near future, I often think of things that, like, I don't want to get old in a house and like do nothing. I want to do things, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe that means I'm a little bit adventurous. I don't know.
But what things are you interested in doing?
I want to live in a boat.
Oh, okay.
I want to live on a boat. The problem is that my wife...
Do you want the boat to be on the water?
I want the boat to be on the water.
Okay.
I want to live on a boat. My wife did remind me that she does get seasick, but you don't have to go on the high seas or anything. There are lakes and rivers and things like
ponds.
That. Gizzy looks horrified.
I just wasn't expecting that, for one. And for two, are you going to use the boat to travel around? Because I was going to say
and I know nothing about boats, really. I don't
think it's very adventurous if you just choose a different place to be comfortable, like a boat, and just hide in the boat.
No.
That's what I imagine.
There are things that you can't just live on a boat. You have to it's like a whole other new lifestyle.
I follow this couple on Instagram and I'm really into fitness. So the lady that I follow is really into fitness. So she tries to work out everywhere, including on the boat.
Yeah.
And for the last year, they both have been just traveling around. And I don't exactly know where in the world, but they've been living on the boat together, traveling around. And sometimes she will film reels of her just cleaning different parts of the boat.
Yeah.
And
that is
it's a lot.
That is the problem with this whole thing is I'm not a great cleaner. But, and you know, boats need constant maintenance.
Right.
And I'm
Like a car.
not even all that interested in maintaining my home, which stays on land. And
You're just
doesn't-
swapping like cleaning out the gutters for scraping off barnacles. And it's
yeah.
like,
Well, we put gutter covers on our
Maybe-
gutters because we were so uninterested in cleaning them out.
maybe they make barnacle covers.
I mean,
Who knows?
I don't
Just
know.
Saran wrap your boat. After every trip, you take it off because
Yeah.
the barnacles will come off, and then you just put the saran wrap back on. There you go.
Has anyone
Not
ever
bad.
thought of that?
Why hasn't
know.
anybody invented this?
Yeah, this might have been $1 billion idea. Maybe we should cut this out, not just.
I've always wanted to go on Shark Tank.
Because they
Let's do it.
because like if you take your boat out of the water over the winter, they will shrink wrap the top part of your boat for winterization. Why not shrink wrap the
This was a really good idea. Yeah. They should get on this.
How did we do this? You're a genius. A soap boat.
So boat.
That's what I would.
Pretty cool.
That's what I would.
Bottom
like.
line,
idea.
boat.
Bottom line, boat.
Pretty cool.
What about you, Gizzy? Are you adventurous?
Adventurous? I'm pretty sure not at all. But I like to think I am. Like, I'm always the person, when I was little, we would go to like amusement parks and I'd be like, I'm going to ride every ride. Like, I'm going on the big roller coaster.
Sure.
Like, and I'm like, yeah,
Sure.
whatever. And then I get on the roller coaster and I'm like, you know, like, so I think I get myself into situations where I end up being adventurous because I don't know if I want to be or whatever, but then like in the adventure, I'm like, oh, I wish I was at home. So, but
Okay.
I do stuff sometimes.
A little adventurous.
Occasionally, a little adventurous. But no, nothing gives me more joy than canceling plans and staying home with no pants on.
I've changed. I have changed since the pandemic. Also, I am much less interested in going out to dinner or doing things.
I think that a lot of those activities for me are what we call type 2 fun.
Oh,
So
tell me more about these types.
So type 1 fun is something that you enjoy while you're doing it, right? Like,
Okay.
I don't know. If you like sports, going to the basketball game, like being at the game, that's type 1 fun. You're enjoying it while you're doing it.
Drinking to excess.
Type 2 fun is something that you enjoy in hindsight, right? Like, no, like a lot of people don't necessarily enjoy the hike, but they get to the top of the mountain and they're like, I'm really glad that I did this. This was really fun. But what they mean is finishing it was fun. Not necessarily doing it, but finishing it was fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Sure.
type 2 fun. So I
makes
think a
sense.
lot of those activities, I'm like, I don't want to put on pants. But if I get to the end of my night and I have done that, I am more fulfilled by being social with other people than if I had stayed home by myself,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
and so
you're
that's
not
type 2
wrong,
fun.
yeah.
And I will say, like, me and my husband go out every Friday. So we always like are trying a new restaurant and doing stuff like that. But it's, you know, not like,
I don't know if I don't know if restaurant is
Yeah,
like particularly
like we do
adventurous,
stuff like
especially in
that.
Iowa City. I mean, look, I don't want to talk down about Iowa City. In fact, I have said before on the show that Iowa City has changed over the years to the extent that there are more options now than there were when we first got here.
I don't know. There's not even a Waffle House here, Dave. How much option do you really have?
There's a
and see, this is perspective of like, I think where you come from, because I come from a tiny town and
Yeah.
here, wild.
Yeah,
There's
it's
so
true.
many places. There's so many things to do. There's so much like at home. Guess what? You got Subway or you got Hardee's, and Hardee's is not going to be fit to eat. So you better go to Subway.
Yeah.
And that's it.
okay.
That's your choices. So this is,
Get it.
yeah.
When we first came here, I remember there was a Chinese restaurant that had sushi with ham in it.
Ooh.
I did not try it.
Okay, then why are you knocking it? I'm just asking.
I mean, you make a fine point. I would have been more adventurous had I tried the smoked ham sushi. But yeah, okay.
It does sound
No,
strange.
this is good. You're pushing me out of my comfort zone. I appreciate that. I should have had the
Knocked him down a couple pegs there.
It
smoked
is
ham.
Iowa. What would you expect us to put in the?
Well, I was new to Iowa, so I
Fish, hopefully. I don't know.
I knew about Iowa's love for hogs and tenderloin and things like that, but it never occurred to me that sushi would be that there would be that sort of fusion.
Now you know what to do next time you come across sushi with ham in it.
I would
I'm
try
skeptical
it.
that I might ever come across that combination. But if I do,
Just
I
in
will
case.
try it. For you guys, I will try it.
Okay. If you could invent a new holiday, what would it celebrate? I kind of have like a couple. Oh,
I would celebrate Audra.
Yes.
you know, that would be pretty good. But I have to say, like, I think, so my birthday is inauguration day.
Audra-ween.
Every 4 years, the day of my birth, the day about me, no one cares because it's the president is changing power and everyone has the inauguration up on the TV.
Yeah. Sounds like you get 3 out of 4 though. That's not bad.
No, but like every 4, I don't care. I'm sorry, my birthday is all about me. So I think I would make it a holiday, hopefully big enough that like celebrating me would overshadow the new presidency. Or I'd move inauguration day. I don't know.
Why don't you just become president and then they'll celebrate you?
None of that.
That's too much work. I'd rather just make a new holiday.
Or it would be like a food, probably like coffee or tacos.
A holiday for food, yeah.
Yeah, I love food holidays.
There's not enough food holidays.
No, there's not. I don't think so. Like that would be the main point. There's like no other like religious connotation.
I think that's
we're getting together
Thanksgiving,
for tacos. No, that's about like being grateful. None of that.
Okay.
Like
she doesn't want gratitude. She just wants turkey.
She just wants to. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I just want it to be focused. You know.
Who here actually likes turkey?
I do occasionally, just the one time a year. You know the whole thing about serotonin with the turkey, and that's why you get all sleepy and full and happy.
Tryptophan.
Yeah, that's fun.
My family. Oh, go ahead.
No.
My family and I, we typically eat chicken, fish on Thanksgiving. We stay away from the turkey. Yeah.
I like chicken more than I like turkey.
Me too.
I think turkey is a flavorless beast. Not interested, really.
I think it just has its place one time a year. I don't know why.
It's podcast gold talking about turkey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Any other holidays that we would invent? I'm trying to think of what I would like to celebrate that we don't celebrate. Because I mean, there's all these like national days of observances that are ridiculous.
Like literally every day.
National Yogurt Day or whatever.
But would you want to just like take one of those holidays and make it bigger, or do you want to just make a whole new thing?
I feel like there's enough of those. I feel like we need a whole new thing.
Okay, so the purpose of a holiday is to come together.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the value in a community of perpetuating a tradition, is that it gets people together, and those societal bonds keep us cohesive. We need those.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's Christmas or Thanksgiving or Halloween or whatever, right? Or Epiphany. It's just something that we come together for. In that sense, it doesn't really matter what you're celebrating. I really liked, do you guys know who Hank and John are?
Hank and John Green.
Yeah, Green.
Oh, yes.
I was going to say, do you mean, okay, yes.
I know them predominantly as Hank and John from their podcast, where they don't have a last name. So, but they've talked about steak days, where they're trying to get people to cut down on how much meat they eat, and the steak should be eaten on only special occasions. So it's not that you're not going to eat any beef. It's just that when you do eat it, it be a special occasion, and these be steak days where we come together as a family to celebrate something important. So maybe once a quarter, you might have a steak day, right?
It seems wild to me to say, once a quarter, we should have this holiday.
Yeah, it's funny in the family setting, you know?
Well, I mean, how many feasts are, in Catholicism or Judaism or Islam? There's a feast like every other month, right? So, like, why not? You could have a feast once a quarter.
A quarterly feast.
I'd like to point out that
quarterly steak day. Whatever you want to celebrate that quarter, whatever it is. My nephew graduated. We're gonna have beef just this one day. The rest of the time we don't eat beef, but this day we celebrate.
As we record this, the 10th of January, it is National Houseplant Appreciation Day and National Bittersweet Chocolate Day.
Houseplant.
Anything else? Please tell me there's something else.
That's it.
But that's okay.
I have 5 house plants. I got 2 recently, so I'm going to be celebrating them. Like I already don't do that usually, but
we appreciate them today.
Yes.
On this day,
we appreciate them.
Who comes up with these? The 5th of January was, and we didn't really celebrate this in my house. National Whipped Cream Day.
Oh, that one's sacred in our home.
Audra, what is it?
It's my anniversary.
What?
Ooh.
Audra King has been here for 3 years. Amazing.
Thanks,
Happy anniversary.
Important. Really? Were you here before that 3 years, or you started here 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
Oh,
She
thank
didn't
goodness
exist
I didn't come
3
here
years ago,
earlier.
as far as
she
we're
was-
concerned.
She just materialized.
She just
out of
appeared
thin air.
as a fully grown person.
Ta-da!
Well,
I'm here to fix everything.
Yeah.
well, grown adult, whatever.
Here to feed the children and talk about private things that we probably shouldn't in the OSAC office at the top of our lungs.
Well, congratulations!
Thank you.
What a wonderful milestone. I love that. Love that. I'm so glad you were able to be here for your anniversary.
I have a holiday.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry, it's not Audra themed. I'm so sorry. But your name made your experience here at OSAC made me think of it. So it's you related. It's you inspired. Some people at this table may not love it because it's not as specific as it could have been, and I apologize for that. A National Day of Service.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like a day where we're all just like, I don't know, go pull the weeds out of that little old lady's flower bed next door. Like this is what we do this day. We all get up and we all just go out and we do some service together
I feel like that's
as a
pretty
community.
good.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens like on, I don't know
September
about you, but
11th.
Earth Day.
2025 is the National Day of Service.
Well,
Yeah,
how about that?
that's-
September 11th?
Yeah.
9/11 is
Yeah.
Service Day.
We also have one.
How long has it been Service Day?
Don't know.
Oh, I like that. You know how we have like 1,000 bullshit assignments that we have to do before we can
Right.
graduate from medical school?
Yeah.
I genuinely think that service hours should be a requirement to graduate. Like,
Oh.
figure it out however you want to do them. We'll count them different ways, but you want to go work at a blood bank, you want to go, just volunteer at the hospital, help patients, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Could be out in the community helping little kids. I don't care what it is, but you got to log a certain number of hours before we allow you to graduate.
So
I think-
not enough that we do strongly emphasize service.
No, I want it to be like you go do this. Like not on our time. We're not telling you, we're not organizing it as a school that we're going to go ride bikes with children. You have to go do this yourself. And so that it's something that's meaningful for you, but you have to do it.
Okay.
And I would do that for undergrads too. So you
I
can't
can
graduate
only
unless you do it.
imagine the joy that medical students would express at jumping through this hoop that you quite reasonably, I think it's a very reasonable,
It is better
thing.
than a lot of the other hoops we have to jump through.
but
I think they would be better people in the community who would be better for it.
National
Especially
Day
if
of
we don't have to do some of those assignments.
Yeah, let's, instead of this weird wellness module, just,
Yeah.
go to the park and
Are we
pick
still
up trash.
doing
I don't
those?
care.
Still doing
I don't know if we do. Apparently I didn't pay enough attention to them.
National Day of Service and Remembrance is indeed tied to September 11th on purpose. So it's not
Oh, okay.
That checks out.
so organized by AmeriCorps.
If you had to add one new sense organ to human beings, what would it sense?
Oh, I like this.
Oh, a sense?
This was a little difficult.
Yeah, and so to be clear, we're saying it has to sense something that you can't. So it can't be like, oh, I'm going to add bandwidth to my eyeballs so that I can see in the infrared.
Something completely new. And I don't really know, because I've been thinking about this for the last few minutes, and I don't really know if my answer is a good one, but I do like to swim. Not great at it, but I do like to swim. And I was thinking about how wonderful it would be to not sense the pressure from the water. I don't know if that's a good answer, but
So you want to
that's my
take away a
answer.
sense, really? I'm fine with it.
Is it ears?
Only underwater.
Only underwater.
Is it
Yeah.
ears that you have, or is it skin, or what is it?
It's just the entire weight of the
Okay.
water. I basically want to be like a fish.
Okay,
Does that
I
make
see what you're saying,
sense?
because the fish don't necessarily know any different,
Exactly.
so they're not feeling the
Yeah.
pressure.
I low-key want to be like a mermaid.
Okay, that's interesting. I have had similar thoughts about animals in general, but specifically my cats, who this is not quite the same, but for instance, they'll hit their head on something, for instance, and they will not really react as though it's painful to them. And I'm not sure, because you hit your knee on something and you're like, but cats do that and they're like, I didn't.
I don't think that's the cats don't feel it. I think it's just that I think cats get embarrassed. That's my running theory. And they're like, oh, it didn't hurt. I'm cool. I think cats get hurt very often, but they can't let you know.
Well, all animals are like this. Unless they're domesticated, all animals hide their pain until the last possible moment, and then your dog dies under your bed. But most animals will
Okay.
Because they don't want to show weakness, right? That
That's
is
true.
a very important survival skill in the wilderness, is that no other animals around you can tell that you are suffering. And so they have to be able to hide it well.
I never thought
All animals do this.
Yeah, me
And the
neither.
more domesticated the animal is, the less likely that they will hide their injuries from other animals. So dogs tend to be more willing to show you that they're hurting than cats, right? Because dogs are actually domesticated. Cats just live with us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
A little tangential, but interesting.
I have an
I
8-year-old
I
who
never thought I was
watches
always,
National Geographic a lot. So
I always wonder, like, you look at a field of, I don't know, cows in the winter. And you're like, are those cows cold? Are they pissed that they're cold? Are they upset that they're cold?
there might also be some like cognition here. Like, are they able to like genuinely contemplate there's something I can do to not be cold right now? Or are they just like, I'm miserable and cold and this is just life?
The joys of being a human being.
Yeah.
I would like, let's see, what sense?
Like, is it worse to know to like, I can fix this, but I can't fix this right now? Like,
what sense would I add?
Does sense like
electromagnetism?
I think
that'd be a good one.
a
But
good
we
one
already
for-
kind of do that.
No, I mean like platypus. Like, I want to be able to tell there's an animal nearby me because of the electromagnetism coming off of that animal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I've never heard of that, but that sounds
No,
cool.
we used to calculate it in physics in undergrad. Is like, what's the range that a platypus can sense the electromagnetism of a fish swimming by?
Oh, I know. We did not talk about platypi undergrad, but
Sounds very
I'm
particular
gonna,
to Jeff.
just a plug to my undergrad. It was apparently really cool. I thought everybody had this experience.
Is there a particular reason why you want to be able to sense animals versus anything else?
Well, I was an example of things
I
that give
see.
off an electromagnetic
I see.
field.
Okay.
Would be
Okay.
animals as they go by me, right?
I have-
You could also feel like, as you get closer to a computer, you would be able to sense the electromagnetic field of the computer because it.
Okay.
I think that would drive me nuts.
I have heard of people who have implanted magnets under their skin to allow them to sense things that they ordinarily wouldn't be able to, like in their fingers or something, to allow them to sense things that they otherwise wouldn't be able
I
to
feel
sense.
like they're just hacking touch.
Yeah, well,
right? Because the magnet will pull on their skin if they get close to something
sure.
magnetic, and then it's really just touch.
But they can, you're right. But
Also, that's really weird, and I would never put magnets underneath my fingertips. I would rather just have a new sense organ.
Do we know what happened to their fingers?
I mean, no.
Okay.
I'll follow
This
up
is just,
on that
I was just
later.
Follow
pulling
up
this
on
out
that,
of my
yeah.
distant memory.
I was just curious. Not that I
but
want to try.
we put magnets for medical reasons. We put magnets under people's skins, like for cochlear implants or to attach the whatever the transmitter or whatever the thing is that goes on your head.
Yeah, if you cut out
I should know
everything
this.
after you said cochlear implants, if you cut out all of that, you sounded really smart.
Oh,
It sounded really good.
I may. I sometimes do that.
I would want like to kind of be like an ultrasound. Like, I guess I don't care how it happens, but I'd like to look at people and like just know the volume of like their bladder or like whatever other organ. Like,
You could
be
try
able to-
just shouting at
That would
them.
be the scariest carnival trick of all time. If you could just
Well-
walk up to somebody like, you have like 440 liters,
yeah.
milliliters of
Well,
volume.
okay, not to get too medical, but like, PSA is a marker for
prostate
like,
specific antigen.
for prostate
All right,
cancer, right?
Dave.
But it's based off of how big one's prostate is. So like a young guy's PSA value is not the same as an old guy's because they have different sizes of prostate. So you have to correlate it to the size, right? For it to really be helpful.
I don't want to brag, but
And so I would want to look at people and know the size of their prostate.
Please don't.
Is yours really low? Or is it high?
My-
Because that's not a bragging point.
prostate's huge. No, I don't know.
And see, I would just know that about you if I had that sense.
I see. Well, that would make you
It would be-
So you want the
Exactly.
that would be a
prostate
very
sensing.
useful skill to have as a urologist, right?
Yeah, exactly.
A very useful skill in clerkships, especially would make you'd be able to like whip up presentations very quickly.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't that be, that's very medical, right? But I think it could come in handy other ways
Sure.
too. Like your sinuses full.
Yeah.
Take some Mucinex. Like,
To like
be a
to
cool friend.
be able to like do like an MRI to have like a sense organ that could just scan somebody. Again, that's magnetic resonance, right? So if I could just scan you MRI with my body somehow and just like have an idea of what's going on inside of you, that would be pretty dope.
I think to
And
channel,
that's not really adding to eyes, right?
Yeah.
Because
Well, I think to channel beloved neurology professor Justin Cipla, everything is we're all taking in vibrations of the universe and turning them into meaning, and that's how we do it, right?
Everything is energy.
Yeah, everything is energy, vibrations, and
I simply want to quantitate that in terms of volume of your body.
Okay.
That's all I wish.
All right.
Yeah, going back to the platypus thing, if you had that, I wonder if you'd be able to like put your hand near someone and then like read an EKG. You know what I mean? Because that's electricity.
You guys are way more practical than I am. I love this.
You just want to be able to feel the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that would be
so
cool.
you guys, I don't know if you know this, but there are stethoscopes that you can do like a three lead EKG just on the stethoscope itself.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming out with all new fancy things.
They're not even that expensive. They're only like $300. For a stethoscope, that is not really that much more expensive than a regular stethoscope.
Yeah. I feel like you could spend $300 on a stethoscope
Easily.
without that feature.
Exactly. But it'll do pulse and then it'll do a 3-lead EKG. And I think that is pretty freaking helpful.
Yeah.
And then they also have like ones that have like mics. So they'll like amplify the sound. So if you're like, when your attending says, can you hear this? The answer is probably not. And that's okay. Don't lie. Sometimes they make it up just to see if you're lying to them. But if you have one of those amplified stethoscopes with the 3-point lead EKG, you can be like, I know exactly what's going on in this guy's chest.
Interesting. Pick a personality quirk or a personality trait. If entering a room meant that a sound would play for that personality trait, what is that sound? I don't even. So like
if somebody walks in the room and they're like really introverted, they might be a little like ding.
Yeah, or if they were evil.
Yeah, it'd be like an evil laugh.
Is that a personality quirk? Evil is a personality quirk?
For the purposes of this discussion.
Okay. All right.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know. Like what would
something like that? Like a sound that is of a personality.
What would I want to know about somebody when they walk in the room? I guess that's the first thing you have to think about, right?
What personality quirk is the most useful to be aware of immediately?
Right. And then probably, I guess evil would be helpful so that I could protect myself, but maybe I should go positive, which, if somebody is a particularly joyful one, like happy person, I don't think it would take that long for me to figure it out. Evil would be harder because I think people hide evil. I think I need to know if they were evil.
Wait, so is this asking like what you would?
Well, starting with what I think I would like to know about people, because it's my choice. I get to pick the personality quirk. So I guess I would want to know if they were evil.
Question: how evil do they have to be? Like, is it like?
I think it would be based on the volume. Like if they were like super evil, it would like shout. But if it was like a little evil, it would be just like a little.
Or it could be like the tone, right? Like
dun dun dun.
Like if it's gonna be the dun 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 thing, like if they're like kind of evil, it can be like dun dun dun. But if they're really evil, it's like dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, get into some pitch modulation with it.
This could be fun.
Yeah, I guess I would want to know if people were bad people, just right off the bat. Then I would know what to do about those people.
Who decides if they're bad people, Dave?
The universe.
See, I don't trust the universe.
The universe decides.
There's one personality quirk that I want to be able to like hone in on immediately, and it's one that people can tend to hide a little bit better, which is why I would want a noise, because like joy, like somebody walks in and they're smiling and they're happy, and the clouds
like a lot of times
you can see that. Yeah. Like, oh, it's not raining anymore. This is great. There's a certain type of person that like sees problems in the world and thinks, I'm going to spend my whole life trying to make this better. They believe in themselves enough that they can make genuine positive change in the world on a big scale. And not a lot of people feel that way. Or maybe they do, but they hide it a lot. And I think a lot of the times they hide it because people say like, oh, you're dreaming too big, like calm down a little bit. Like, oh, that's a really big problem.
Get discouraged from your...
Yeah, or they feel like, or, somebody else is like, oh, I want to own a shoe store. And you're like, okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with owning a shoe store. But like now I feel weird saying I want to, I want to cure rabies. Like there's a disconnect. So I have to like keep that to myself, right? So I want those people that are like dreaming big, that are trying to do the big thing in life. They feel like I'm going to make my dent on the universe in a positive way. I want to know that those people are walking in the room.
That would be tough to have that constantly broadcast to the world, because that sets up a set of expectations.
Oh, does everybody hear the sound, or is it just me?
Yeah, like everybody hears the sound.
Oh, because I think we would solve the evil problem pretty quick. Dave, like
they would,
if there are social consequences to every single room that they walk into, evil will start to cull out pretty quick. That's kind of useful.
The demise of evil.
Yeah. Being like, all right, well, we're just going to stop feeding that guy. And then now we're evil. Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. End times are upon us.
Oh, boy. All right, we're calling it. I got to go back home and go to sleep or something.
I have to pee. I always have
For
to
your
pee.
houseplant appreciation day.
It's your prostate. You got to get that.
I know.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can sense you have a giant prostate that's causing you problems.
It's huge.
You guys, thanks for joining me for this weird discussion today. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
And I hope you'll come back, Katherine.
Yeah, this is so much fun. I'll definitely be back.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I would say a bunch of things here, but I didn't write any of them down, and I've only been saying them for 500 episodes, so I don't really have them memorized.
Vox and Catmosphere. That one I got.
Vox and Catmosphere. Dave Etler saying, "Don't let the bastards get you down." Talk to you in 1 week.
Hi, Shortcoats. Look, life in medical education, life in America, life in the world is often difficult. And I often wish I could help. All I have is this podcast, but in my wildest dreams, you have the support you need to lead a life of your choosing. You deserve to be happy, healthy, and successful in whatever ways you define those words. So if you need support because you've experienced racism, discrimination, harassment, mental health crises, I want you to be able to get the help that you need. And so I'm going to put some links in the show notes to some resources that you can use. But the bottom line is that for what it's worth, I see you. I know you're out there. I wish I could do more. Maybe I can in ways that I don't understand yet or know about. But I see you, and I'm glad you're here, and other people are too.
This Shortcode podcast is a proud member of the MedEd Media Network. Inspiration, information, and guidance on your journey to medical school and beyond at mededmedia.com.